Water is the foundation of all survival, yet it's the most often overlooked item in emergency prep. In a crisis, when the infrastructure collapses and bottled water disappears from shelves, the average person is left with the dangerous assumption that water will just be there. But the hard truth is, in most SHTF scenarios, clean water becomes scarce fast. A person can survive 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. And depending on the conditions, height, exertion, illness, that number drops quickly. That's why water filtration and hydration gear must be the first thing in your SHTF bag. The problem isn't just finding water, it's making sure it's safe to drink. Streams, ponds, even rain barrels might look clean, but they could be loaded with parasites, bacteria, and chemical runoff. Drinking untreated water in a survival scenario can lead to diarrhea, dehydration, and deadly infections like Giardia or E. coli. That's why every serious bug out or go bag needs at least 2 water purification solutions. Start with a lightweight, reliable water filter, something like the Sawyer Mini or Life Straw. These filters weigh next to nothing, take up very little space, and can process thousands of liters of water. They attach to water bottles or work as straw filters directly from the source. You can drink confidently from most natural water sources as long as you use one. But filtration alone isn't foolproof, which is why you should also carry purification tablets. These tiny tablets kill viruses and bacteria at a chemical level. They're compact, cheap, and effective, especially in murky or questionable water. Combined with a collapsible water bottle or bladder like a 1-liter pouch that folds flat, you have a full hydration system ready to go. Don't forget a backup. Filters can break. Tablets can run out. You should also have a metal water bottle or cup so you can boil water over a fire if needed. Boiling remains one of the most reliable purification methods, especially when you've run out of gear or the water is too dirty for filters to handle alone. Hydration is more than just about having access to water. You also need to monitor your intake and not ration dangerously. Many people make the mistake of sipping too little to make it last. In reality, dehydration creeps in faster than you think, leading to confusion, weakness, and bad decisions. When you're bugging out on foot or dealing with stressful situations, you're sweating more and losing more fluids. Your SHTF bag should help you stay topped up, not just carry water. Finally, consider the tactical use of your water gear. Having a hydration bladder with a drinking hose lets you stay mobile while drinking. Keeping your hands free while moving through terrain or in an emergency is a huge advantage. Water is life. If your bag has nothing else but a way to make dirty water drinkable, it already increases your odds of survival dramatically. In any disaster in any terrain, water is priority 1. Always. When disaster strikes, communication often goes down fast. Cell towers collapse under demand or get destroyed. Internet goes dark and power loss renders phones useless within hours. In an SHTF scenario, information becomes a rare and critical asset. You need to know what's going on, where danger is, where help might be found, or if help is coming at all. That's why every serious bag must include at least one form of off-grid communication or information gathering tool, especially an emergency radio. A hand crank or solar-powered emergency radio can be your only link to the outside world. These devices are built for blackouts. They can pick up NOAA weather alerts, emergency broadcasts, and civil warnings. When you're in the dark, literally and metaphorically, a simple voice update telling you where a storm is heading or that an evacuation has been ordered can mean the difference between life and death. The best emergency radios are multi-powered. They charge via hand crank, solar panel, USBs, or even batteries. This ensures that you're not reliant on a single power source. Many models also include a flashlight, power bank for charging a phone, and a built-in siren or SOS beacon, making them versatile survival tools beyond just communication. Another overlooked tool is the whistle. It's small, weighs almost nothing, but in a rescue situation, a whistle can be heard over long distances without draining your energy like shouting does. If you're injured, trapped, or separated, 3 whistle blasts is the universal signal for help. Include one on your backpack strap and train everyone in your family to use it. For more advanced communication, consider a small 2-way radio. walkie-talkies set, especially if you're bugging out with a group. These allow you to stay in contact over a few miles, coordinate movements, or alert others if you're in trouble. Some models even had a weather band channels built in, merging communication and information into one device. In situations where stealth is necessary, like civil unrest or chaotic evacuations, these radios let you communicate without attracting attention. Silent coordination is often safer than shouting across the woods or street, and unlike smartphones, these don't rely on any infrastructure to function. You should also include a small notebook and pencil. It might seem old school, but writing down key information, radio frequencies, addresses, contact numbers, rendezvous points, could be vital if memory fails or devices get damaged. Laminated index cards with emergency contacts, blood types, allergies, and medical needs should also be stashed in a waterproof pouch inside your bag. In the information age, losing connection doesn't just mean missing social media. It could mean being blindsided by a second disaster, missing rescue windows, or wandering into danger blindly. A good emergency communications setup keeps you alert, informed, and coordinated, even when the grid is long gone. Never underestimate the power of a voice in the silence of collapse. When survival is on the line, access to clean drinking water becomes the single most critical need, far above food, shelter, or even warmth. In an SHTF hits the fan situation, municipal water systems may be compromised by power outages, contamination, or total collapse. Rivers, streams, and even rainwater may still flow, but without purification, they can carry bacteria, parasites, and chemical pollutants that will put you down fast. That's why a high-quality water filtration system isn't optional. It's the backbone of your bug-out bag. Your body can go weeks without food, but only about 3 days without water. And dehydration doesn't just creep up. It hits hard and fast, affecting mental clarity, energy, and motor skills. In a crisis, that can mean the difference between navigating to safety or getting lost, between staying calm or panicking. That's why every SHTF bag must include not just one, but multiple layers of water filtration and purification. Start with a portable water filter like the Sawyer Mini or Life Straw. These lightweight, compact devices can filter thousands of gallons of water and remove 99.99% of bacteria and protozoa like E. coli, Giardia, and Cryptosporidium. They allow you to safely drink from natural water sources like lakes, streams, and even muddy puddles without worrying about dysentery or diarrhea, two serious threats in off-grid situations. Next, include water purification tablets or drops like iodine or chlorine dioxide. These serve as a backup when your filter fails or breaks. They're especially useful for treating large amounts of water at once, like when you're filling up a bottle from a questionable tap, well, or cistern. Tablets are lightweight, take up no space, and have a long shelf life, ideal for bug-out situations where every ounce matters. A collapsible water bottle or hydration bladder is another essential. Not only does it help you carry treated water, but many filters are designed to screw directly onto standard bottles, creating an efficient drink-as-you-go system. The flexibility to store and transport water increases your chances of staying hydrated between sources. If you can carry it, a small stainless steel container, such as a single-walled bottle or canteen, is invaluable. It allows you to boil water over a fire, one of the most reliable purification methods on Earth. Boiling kills everything biological and doesn't rely on filter membranes or chemical reactions. It's also a morale booster. Hot water for tea, broth, or just warmth can feel like a luxury in the wild. Lastly, know how to find water in different environments. Springs, animal tracks, dew collection, and solar stills can all play a part. Knowledge paired with the right tools gives you an edge no matter where you end up. When the grid goes down and the faucets run dry, clean water becomes more valuable than gold. Don't let thirst or bad water be what breaks you. Build your bug-out bag around hydration and you dramatically increase your odds of making it through anything. Fire is one of the most powerful survival tools you can carry. And in a chef situation, being able to create fire under any conditions can mean the difference between life and death. Fire gives you warmth, Light, the ability to cook food, boil water, signal for help, and defend yourself psychologically against the crushing weight of isolation or fear. That's why your bug-out bag should never rely on just one fire-starting method. You need redundancy, reliability, and speed. Start with the basics. A reliable ferrocerium rod, often called a ferro rod or fire steel. These generate extremely hot sparks over 3,000 degrees F when scraped with a steel striker or even the back of a knife. Unlike matches or lighters, they're nearly impossible to break. They work in wet or windy conditions and they last for thousands of strikes. A good ferro rod should be your go-to long-term fire-starting solution. However, redundancy is everything in survival. Pack waterproof matches in a sealed container, preferably strike, anywhere, or stormproof types. These are quick to light and ideal when you need a fire right now. Keep several match containers in different parts of your bag in case one gets lost, wet, or damaged. Zip-top bags, pill bottles, or mini dry cases work well for protection. Lighters are another must. A simple disposable Bic lighter weighs almost nothing and can provide hundreds of lights. It's an efficient tool for fire starting. Fast, intuitive, and effective. Pack at least 2 and store them separately. Consider adding a windproof butane torch lighter as well, especially in colder climates where standard lighters might fail. But a spark or flame is only half the battle. You'll also need dry tinder. In wet environments or cold seasons, natural materials can be useless, so prepare your own tinder ahead of time. Cotton balls soaked in petroleum jelly, dryer lint, wax jute rope, or commercially sold fire starters like Tinder Quick or wet fire cubes are all lightweight and reliable. Vacuum seal a few portions and tuck them in various compartments of your bag. Beyond ignition and tinder, consider small accessories that make fire starting easier. A compact magnifying glass can ignite tinder with the sun, making it a zero-fuel, infinite-use backup. A small knife or scraper is essential for shaving dry bark, feathering sticks, or scraping magnesium shavings from a rod. Also, don't forget about fuel gathering. Include a few feet of paracord. Some brands even have tinder strands inside, and carry a small folding saw or wire saw if space allows. Being able to gather and prepare wood efficiently will keep your fire sustainable through the night. Finally, practice is key. The best fire starting gear in the world is useless if you don't know how to use it under pressure. Practice in the rain. Practice in the dark. Build the muscle memory now, because when the night falls and the cold creeps in, fire isn't just survival. It's your hope, your strength, and your lifeline. Water is non-negotiable. When the SHTF, clean, drinkable water becomes more valuable than gold. The human body can go weeks without food, but only a few days without water. And in a crisis, whether you're bugging out through rural terrain or trapped in an urban wasteland, your ability to find, purify, and carry water will directly impact your survival. That's why every shift bag should contain at least 3 critical water-related tools: a filtration system, a purification method, and a container system. These items don't just overlap, they support each other. Together, they create a robust, flexible strategy for securing safe hydration no matter what environment you're navigating. Start with a high-quality water filter. This is your frontline defense against bacteria, protozoa, and other nasty contaminants found in natural water sources like rivers, lakes, or puddles. Popular choices like the Sawyer Mini or Life Straw are compact, lightweight, and highly effective. They remove 99.99% of harmful organisms and are small enough to fit in a cargo pocket. Ideally, choose a filter that threads directly onto standard bottles or pouches for versatility. But filters aren't enough on their own. Viruses, chemical pollutants, and extreme microbial contamination can overwhelm even the best filters. That's why your second layer should be purification tablets or drops. Products like Aquamira or Potable Aqua use chlorine dioxide or iodine to kill viruses and bacteria the filter might miss. They weigh almost nothing, last for years, and can treat dozens of liters. Always follow the directions and keep them in a waterproof pouch to prevent contamination. Now, you need a way to carry water. A collapsible water bottle, canteen, or hydration bladder, like those from Platypus or Hydra Pack, gives you the ability to collect and transport water from remote sources. Aim to carry at least 1 to 2 liters at all times. Even better, include 2 containers, one for clean water and one for edible collection. That way, you're never stuck choosing between drinking unfiltered water and going thirsty. Boiling water is another powerful purification method. If your shift bag has a metal cup, hot or nesting container, you can boil suspect water over a campfire or stove. This kills almost all biological threats. It takes longer, and you'll need fuel or a fire-starting method, but in some situations, it's your best bet. A bandana or coffee filter can serve as a pre-filter if the water source is full of debris, silt, or algae. Straining dirty water before filtering helps extend the life of your main filter and prevents clogging. Pack 1 or 2 as backups. They're light, compact, and multi-use. Finally, be smart about water consumption. Ration water wisely, not recklessly. Don't wait until you're dehydrated to start looking. Know your area. Swamps, shaded forests, and rock crevices often hide natural sources. Urban survivors should learn to harvest rainwater or locate pipes and reservoirs. In any survival situation, water is your top priority. No matter how tough you are or how many tools you carry, if you run out of water, you're out of time. Shelter is one of the most overlooked yet absolutely essential components of any SHTF survival bag. People often focus on weapons or food, but without adequate protection from the elements, exposure can take you down faster than hunger or thirst. In fact, under extreme conditions, you can succumb to hypothermia or heat stroke in just a matter of hours. That's why having the tools and materials to build, carry, or improvise shelter can be the difference between life and death in a disaster. Your sheath bag should include at least one form of rapid deploy shelter. A compact emergency bivy sack or space blanket is a great start. These lightweight, reflective materials are designed to retain up to 90% of your body heat and can shield you from wind, rain, or snow. Unlike bulky sleeping bags, they fit in the palm of your hand and weigh mere ounces, making them ideal for a mobile kit where every ounce counts. Another option is a lightweight tarp with grommets and paracord. This combination gives you the flexibility to construct a variety of shelters, like an A-frame or lean-to, using trees, poles, or even abandoned structures. Tarps can act as a roof, ground cover, or windbreak. Paracord, with its incredible tensile strength and versatility, can be used to secure corners, suspend lines, or even improvise repairs. For those who know how to tie a few basic knots, this simple setup can be life-saving. Don't forget to consider insulation from the ground. Heat loss occurs not just from above, but also below. That's why having a closed-cell foam pad, inflatable sleeping mat, or even a folded reflective windshield sunshade can provide crucial insulation. If these aren't available, gather natural materials like leaves, pine needles, or dry grasses to create a barrier between you and the cold earth. In hot environments, shelter takes on a different role: protection from sun and dehydration. Exposure to direct sunlight can elevate your core temperature dangerously fast, leading to heat exhaustion or stroke. A tarp, poncho, or even a reflective blanket rigged overhead can create life-saving shade. Lightweight, breathable clothing and light colors should also be part of your kit to help regulate temperature and avoid sunburn. One of the smartest tools to include is a compact, multi-use poncho. Not only can it protect you from rain, but it can be used as a tarp, ground sheet, windbreak, or water catchment system. Multifunctionality is key in survival gear. Less weight, more uses. Lastly, knowledge is your best asset. Practice building shelters using minimal equipment before disaster strikes. Know how to identify natural shelters like caves, rock overhangs, or dense tree cover, but also know when to avoid them. For example, caves might harbor animals or toxic gases. In the end, your shelter system doesn't have to be fancy. Just needs to work. When the storm hits or the temperature drops, you won't care how tactical your gear looks. You'll care if it keeps you alive through the night. That's why shelter isn't optional. It's a cornerstone of survival, and your chef bag must reflect that.